One introduction. Rosep view: the United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only. For home building and furniture building, for just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable, wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lungs, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom, the Eco-Design Wood Stove, and International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosep view: purple air PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.
Hi, my name is Lily. Andrew gave you the intro to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates and their concern for air pollution from indoor residential wood burning. Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, or ROSEP, would like every near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner whose wood smoke enters their yards and sickens the near neighbors to have a purple air PM 2.5 monitor hanging from the eaves of their home to measure the level of PM 2.5 entering their yards. That measurement of air pollution should be used as evidence of unnecessary air pollution, and each indoor residential wood burner should be shut down based on that evidence, one indoor residential wood burner at a time if necessary. The presentation by Andrew ended at 2 minutes 5 seconds. The same presentation by Emma starts at 2 minutes 3 seconds before the end of this podcast. So I am Lily, your timekeeper, and you can start the next podcast at 2 minutes 5 seconds in if you would not like to see the presentation by Andrew a second time. This presentation by me, Lily, ends at 5 minutes in. What you will see in the main content of this ROSEP podcast will be news about air pollution from indoor residential wood burning, and how that air pollution is being combated by ordinary people just like you who are unfortunately near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners at this time. There will also be news about unnecessary and highly polluting use of wood as fuel in industrial wood burners and preventable air pollution from wood burning wildfires. There will also be news about air pollution from PM 2.5 from gas-powered cars. There will also be news about airborne diseases which are also preventable with vaccines such as COVID-19 and measles and whooping cough, to name just a few. In 2025, Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates is also concerned with combating the Trump destruction of government funding for programs which protect human health through the Department of Health and Human Services, and Trump destruction of programs which fund the science and medical research plan to protect human health from preventable illnesses. Protecting human health is a patriotic act, and our defense against enemies is weakened if we are not as healthy as we can be. Heat pump rebates are now offered by the federal government, distributed through the eligible United States, are available in 2025, and are the best, cleanest, and now cheapest alternative to indoor residential wood burning if that burning is actually done to purportedly save money. Wind and solar as sources of the electricity that powers heat pumps and electric cars is also cheaper than burning wood. The adverse health effects that are caused by indoor residential wood burning also come at a cost to near neighbors, both in shortening and ending their lives, and in actual hospital, clinic, and funeral costs. Instead of being compensated monetarily, near neighbors should instead be able to achieve immediate relief by stopping indoor residential wood burning in their hyper-localized neighborhoods, which relief readings from purple air PM 2.5 monitors used as evidence of air pollution will help them achieve. Welcome to news about hopeful scientific and medical achievements that will also help us achieve the goal of clean air to breathe.
Episode 57 DHY June 9th, 2025 Heat Pumps in Wisconsin IRA Rebates, Other Rebates and Discounts. Episode 57 DGHY 1 Federal IRA Rebates for heat pumps of up to $8,000 based on a sliding income scale. https://focusonenergy.com/IRA-here https://focusonenergy.com/home-energy-rebates 2 State of Wisconsin focus on energy rebates receive up to $700 off new efficient heating and cooling equipment. You can combine many of these with IRA home energy rebates for even more savings. 3 instant discounts for heat pumps. Heat pumps have both an income qualified discount and a standard discount. Main content. 1 https://focusonenergy.com/IRA-here. Equipment rebates. Here offers rebates for installing qualifying equipment. A single household cannot receive more than $14,000 total in rebate dollars from this program. Maximum project rebates are based on income level. Qualified new or existing, single, and multifamily homes are welcome to participate. Income eligibility maximum project rebate. Households below 80% AMI 100% of project costs up to $14,000. Households between 80% and 150% AMI 50% of project costs up to $14,000. Higher income households, greater than 150% AMI, are not eligible for this program. Type of home energy project/qualified technology, rebate max per product category eligible for new construction. Energy Star electric heat pump water heater up to $1,750 yes. Energy Star electric heat pump for space heating and cooling up to $8,000 yes. Electrical load service center, electrical panel, up to $4,000 no. Electrical wiring up to $2,500 no. Energy Star insulation, Energy Star ventilation, air sealing up to $1,600 no. Energy Star electric heat pump clothes dryer up to $840. Rebate not yet available, yes. Energy Star electric stove, Energy Star cooktop, Energy Star range asterisk up to $840. Rebate not yet available, yes. Asterisk rebates are available only when upgrading from a non-electric appliance. Note, a single household address may not receive a rebate from both IRA home efficiency rebates, homes, and here for the same upgrade or equipment type. However, projects receiving rebates from either of these programs may also be eligible to receive focus on energy rebates. Retroactive rebates. Retroactive rebates are not available for here. Other ways to save. IRA home energy rebates are not the only ways to save on your home energy projects. You may be eligible for other programs, including focus on energy rebates and discounts, the Weatherization Assistance Program, and tax credits. Plus, you can combine many of these with IRA home energy rebates for even more savings. The Get Started tool will help you identify what you are eligible for. https://focusonenergy.com/home-energy-IRA home energy rebates. Welcome to your one-stop for Wisconsin IRA home energy rebates. As part of the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, Wisconsin has been allocated $149 million for home energy rebates. Focus on Energy was chosen by the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin to deliver IRA home energy rebate programs. Both home efficiency rebates, homes, and home electrification and appliance rebate, here, are now available. Steps to participate. Participation in IRA home energy rebates is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Home energy rebates. Income qualification. Income qualification. Registered contractor selection. Registered contractor selection. Home energy rebates. Complete project. Complete project. 1. Complete income qualification. Qualify for both IRA home energy rebate programs today. Eligibility and rebate amounts are based on household income. All homeowners are eligible to participate in homes. Low-income or moderate-income households can participate in here. 2. Select your IRA registered contractor. Start your home energy upgrade process by finding an IRA registered contractor. These trusted program partners will help you decide which program and upgrades are right for your home. Note, not all contractors participate in both programs. 3. Begin your project. Determine which program is right for your home and energy saving goals. You may only participate in one program at a time. Home Efficiency Rebate Program, Homes. Homes offers rebates for energy-saving home improvements, including insulation and efficient heating/cooling equipment. Participants need a home energy assessment to identify eligible upgrades. Rebate amounts are based on a household's income level and predicted energy savings from recommended upgrades. Learn more. Home Efficiency Rebate Program 762-862968. Home Electrification and Appliance Rebate Program, here. Here provides rebates to households installing heat pumps and other efficient electric equipment to help further electrify their homes. Additional qualified improvements include insulation, air sealing, and upgraded electrical panels and wiring. This program is available to Wisconsin residents in single-family homes and multifamily buildings, earning 150% of area median income, AMI, or less. Learn more. Check out this IRA home energy rebates overview video to hear a basic program explanation, income qualification, participation, and more. IRA home energy rebates are not the only ways to save on your home energy projects. You may be eligible for other programs, including focus on energy rebates and discounts, the Weatherization Assistance Program, and tax credits. Plus, you can combine many of these with IRA home energy rebates for even more savings. The Get Started tool will help you identify what you are eligible for. If you qualify at 80% AMI for IRA programs, you are already qualified for income-based focus on energy programs. No need to go through the process again. Bates. 2. Receive up to $700 off new efficient heating and cooling equipment. Focus on Energy offers rebates and instant discounts on a variety of energy-efficient heating and cooling equipment, including furnaces, boilers, smart thermostats, and water heaters. Ask your trade ally contractor if they work with a participating distributor and if the equipment you are choosing qualifies for a rebate or instant discount. Wisconsin Farm Heating and Cooling. Enjoy year-round comfort and savings. Heating and cooling accounts for nearly half of an average home's energy usage. If you're looking to replace your existing equipment, make sure to keep energy efficiency in mind. Efficient equipment can save you as much as 30% in energy usage and offers the benefits of quieter operation and more consistent temperatures in your home. Signs it's time for an upgrade. Your heating and cooling equipment is unreliable, inefficient, or over 15 years old. You've noticed excessive blower noises or sporadic pops, bangs, or rattles from your furnace. Your home is cold and uncomfortable. Read on to get started. Instant discounts rebates. Projects installed on or after January 1st, 2025. Rebates require filling out an application. You provide an upfront payment and receive a check in the mail 8 to 10 weeks after approval. If working with a trade ally, be sure to ask for assistance. Applications must be submitted within 60 days of the completed project installation, no later than August 31st, 2025. Want your rebate faster? Complete the online application. 2025 online application, 2025 print application. Smart thermostats, learn more. Rebate. Energy Star Smart Thermostat, $50. Geothermal heat pumps, learn more. Rebate. Certified geothermal heat pump with natural gas service, $1,000. Certified geothermal heat pump with no natural gas service, $750. Geothermal heat pumps can be dual fuel heat pumps. ECM variable speed pump, learn more. Rebate. ECM motor, $25. ECM variable speed pump, less than 100 watts, $50. ECM variable speed pump, 100 to 500 watts, $160. ECM variable speed pump, 500 plus watts, $320. Multifamily style equipment, learn more. Rebate. Single package vertical unit, natural gas unit, 90% plus thermal efficiency, $100. Single package vertical unit, natural gas unit, 90% plus thermal efficiency, 11.0 plus ER, $150. Packaged terminal heat pump, $90. Free instant discounts. Instant discounts are paid to the participating distributor and passed through your contractor onto you. No forms. No waiting for a check in the mail. The discount comes off your invoice at time of purchase. Natural gas furnaces, less than 300 MBH, standard discount, income qualified discount. Greater than or equal to 95% AFUE, $100, $400. Natural gas boilers, less than 300 MBH, standard discount, income qualified discount. Greater than or equal to 90% AFUE boiler, $300, $500. Greater than or equal to 95% AFUE boiler, $350, $550. Greater than or equal to 95% AFUE combination boiler, $450, $650. Heat pumps, standard discount, income qualified discount. Tier 1. Minimum requirements. SEER 215.2 and HSBF 2 8.1. For $100. $100. Propane replacement. $600. $300. Propane replacement. Tier 2. Minimum requirements. SEER 215.2 and HSBF 2 8.5. $500. $100. Propane replacement. $700. $300. Propane replacement. Tier 3. Minimum requirements. SEER 216.0 and HSBF 2 9.0. $600. $150. Propane replacement. $800. $350. Propane replacement. Tier 4. Minimum requirements. SEER 216.0 and HSBF 2 10.0. $700. $150. Propane replacement. $900. $350. Propane replacement. Smart thermostats, standard discount, income qualified discount. Energy Star Smart Thermostat, $50 not applicable. Episode 57 DHWJ June 9th, 2025 list of here U.S. state applicants as of December 13th, 2024. About DOE home energy rebates. Through the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, Department of Energy received $8.8 billion to develop 2 home energy rebate programs, the Home Efficiency Rebate, HER, program, and the Home Electrification and Appliance Rebate, HERE, program. Both rebate programs will be administered by state energy offices, SEO, with the goal of increasing disadvantaged households' energy efficiency, lowering utility bills, and reducing carbon emissions. Funding has been allocated to each state to implement the rebate programs, and federal guidance requires SEOs to allocate 40% of state rebate funding to low-income households and an additional 10% to low-income multifamily households. SEOs are required to submit an application to DOE for each program to receive funding. Applications must include a community benefits plan and education and outreach strategy. The following rebates are available for single-family homes with household income below 80% AMI and in multifamily buildings where at least 50% of households have incomes below 80% AMI. Rebate type, rebate amount. Home Efficiency Rebates, HER, retrofit of existing buildings. Rebate level varies depending on the level of efficiency improvements, not to exceed $4,000 per housing unit for energy savings of 20% to 34%, $8,000 per housing unit for energy savings of 35% or more, up to 80% of project costs. Could be available retroactively, depends on each state's program design. Home Electrification and Appliance Rebates, here, new construction and retrofits. Appliance-based rebates with caps. 100% of project costs not to exceed the max rebate level of $14,000 per housing unit. Will not be available retroactively. Maximum rebate amounts for eligible here measures include: measure rebate amount. Heat pump water heater up to $1,750 per appliance. Heat pump for space heating or cooling up to $8,000 per appliance. Electric stove, cooktop, range, or oven up to $840 per appliance. Electric heat pump dryer up to $840 per appliance. Electric load service center upgrade up to $4,000. Insulation, air sealing, and ventilation up to $1,600. Electric wiring up to $2,500. IRA here programs which include heat pump rebates. United States state application status. Last updated December 13th, 24. Alabama. Administering agency, Alabama Department of Economic Development and Community Affairs. Application status, received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application, state allocation, $146 million. Program description, Alabama anticipates rebates will be available in mid-2025. Alaska. Administering agency, Alaska Housing Finance Corporation. Application status, received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application, state allocation, $75 million. Program description, HFC plans to open the state's program application portal in the fall of 2025. Arizona. Administering agency, Efficiency, Arizona. Application status, here rebates available. Per application submitted. State allocation, $153 million. Program description, rebates in Arizona will be made available in 3 phases. 1. Available now, air conditioning replacement program through community action agencies across the state, focusing on single-family households. 2. Launching Q1 2025, home efficiency rebate program. 3. Launching Q1 2025, multifamily pilot program. Arkansas. Administering agency, Arkansas Department of Energy and Environment. Application status, preparing rebate applications. State allocation, $105 million. Program description, Arkansas anticipates launching their rebate programs in early 2026. California. Administering agency, California Energy Commission. Application status, here rebates available. Submitted her application. State allocation, $582 million. Program description, California has launched Phase 1 of the HERE program, which provides heat pump and electrification rebates for multifamily buildings and single-family households. Apply for rebates here. Her funding will be split between 2 programs. Equitable Building Decarbonization Direct Install Program, 60% of funds, no-cost upgrades for low-income residents. Launching 2025, and a pay-for-performance pathway, 40% of funds, rebates based on actual measured energy savings. Launching 2025/2026. Colorado. Administering agency, Colorado Energy Office. Application status, here rebates available. Her application approved. State allocation, $140 million. Program description, the state's HERE program will provide rebates for comprehensive energy efficiency upgrades for large multifamily buildings, 50,000 square feet or larger, and mobile/manufactured homes. Colorado will first launch the HERE program through the state's Weatherization Assistance Program to provide home energy upgrades to low-income households receiving WAP services. Rebates will be available to households not receiving WAP services sometime next year. The state expects to launch the HERE program in early 2025. Connecticut. Administering agency, Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection. Application status, submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $99 million. Program description, Connecticut plans to target HERE funding to multifamily and single-family households at or below 80% AMI. Her funding will flow through the existing utility-run Multifamily Initiative program. Rebates from both programs will be available in 2025. Delaware. Administering agency, Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control. Application status, submitted her application. State allocation, $66 million. Program description, Delaware plans to submit both HERE and her applications in early fall and launch state programs in early 2025. District of Columbia. Administering agency, DC Department of Energy and Environment. Application status, HERE and HERE rebates available. District allocation, $59 million. Program description, the district will use home energy rebates funds to expand the Affordable Housing Retrofit Accelerator, HRA, and the Affordable Home Electrification Program, HEP. These programs focus on reducing a household's energy use through energy efficiency upgrades and electrification. Learn more here. Florida. Administering agency, Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Office of Energy. Application status, submitted HERE application. State allocation, $346 million. Program description, Florida plans to launch both programs in early 2025. Georgia. Administering agency, Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. Application status, HERE and her applications approved. State allocation, $219 million. Program description, Georgia has launched a limited pilot of both rebate programs and plans to make the rebates fully available by the end of March 2025. Georgia has also increased the maximum HERE rebate a household/unit at or below 80% AMI can receive to $10,000 if achieving between 20 and 34% energy savings, and $16,000 if achieving more than 35% energy savings. Hawaii. Administering agency, Hawaii State Energy Office. Application status, HERE application approved. Her application submitted. State allocation, $70 million. Program description, Hawaii expects to launch the HERE program soon with rebates available for Energy Star certified heat pump water heaters and induction cooktops. The HERE program will expand when the state's HERE program rolls. Idaho. Administering agency, Governor's Office of Energy and Mineral Resources. Application status, preparing rebate applications. State allocation, $81 million. Program description, no information is available at this time. Illinois. Administering agency, Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. Application status, submitted HERE and HERE applications. State allocation, $264 million. Program description, Illinois plans to increase the minimum rebate funding set aside for low-income multifamily households by prioritizing 100% of rebate funds to low-income households. Illinois may later modify this plan based on program performance and general interest. Indiana. Administering agency, Indiana Office of Energy Development. Application status, HERE and her applications approved. State allocation, $182 million. Program description. Indiana plans to make rebates available in early 2025. Indiana is also proposing increasing the maximum eligible HER project costs for households below 80% AMI from $4,000 to $6,000 per dwelling unit if achieving between 20% and 34% energy savings, and from $8,000 to $12,000 per dwelling unit if achieving at least 35% energy savings. Iowa. Administering agency. Iowa Economic Development. Application status. Preparing rebate applications. State allocation, $121 million. Program description. No information is available at this time. Kansas. Administering agency. Kansas Energy Office. Application status. Submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $106 million. Program description. Kansas plans to limit here eligible measures to include heat pumps, electric load service center, electric wiring, insulation, air sealing, and mechanical upgrades. Electrical upgrades will focus on crucial electrical system enhancements. Kentucky. Administering agency. Kentucky Energy and Environment Cabinet application status. Submitted her and here applications. State allocation, $134 million. Program description. Kentucky expects rebates to be available mid to late 2025. Louisiana. Administering agency. Louisiana Department of Energy and Natural Resources. Application status. Submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $213 million. Program description. No information is available at this time. Maine. Administering agency. Efficiency Maine. Application status. Here rebates available. Submitted her application. State allocation, $72 million. Program description. Here rebates are now available for new construction multifamily and manufactured housing for mini-split heat pumps, variable refrigerant flow systems, heat pump rooftop units, and single package heat pumps with through-the-wall outdoor air ducting. Rebates are also available for necessary electric panel and electrical wiring upgrades. Interested building owners can apply here. Maine is prioritizing 50% of her funds for larger multifamily buildings at or below 80% AMI that are electrifying their heating systems and achieve a minimum of 35% energy savings. Maryland. Administering agency. Maryland Energy Administration. Application status. Here application submitted. State allocation, $137 million. Program description. MEA plans to distribute here funds across 3 categories. $18 million for a fuel oil/propane heat to heat pump conversions. $27.6 million will channel through DHCD to support low-income single-family and multifamily programs. $9 million for the Warmth Act, which will require certain gas companies to develop a pilot geothermal energy network. MEA also plans to allocate $27.1 million for energy efficiency upgrades in homes that can't access other state incentives, and $27.7 million to DHCD further support low-income single-family and multifamily programs. Massachusetts. Administering agency. Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources. Application status. Here and her applications approved. State allocation, $146 million. Program description. The department expects rebates to be available in early 2025, and funding will leverage existing state and federal opportunities, like MassSafe. DOER also plans to expand existing affordable housing decarbonization programs by funding additional measures, targeting decarbonization in existing income-restricted multifamily units, leveraging multiple funding sources outside of HER, and exceeding max rebate limits to achieve greater energy savings for low-income units. The state's HER program will target 4-unit households served by municipal light plans and who aren't served by MassSafe. Multifamily households will be targeted through the DOER Affordable Housing Decarbonization Grant Program. These funds will augment DOER and other state funds awarded to these projects to help close funding gaps. Here funding will be delivered through the MassSafe program, targeting households at or below 60% AMI, and through a newly expanded program for households with incomes between 61 and 80% AMI. Michigan. Administering agency. Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. Application status. HER and here rebates available. State allocation, $211 million. Program description. Michigan launched the rebate programs for single-family households in select geographies in October 2024 and plans to make the programs available statewide in early 2025. The state is prioritizing households at or below 80% AMI and has increased the maximum HER rebate a household can receive to $20,000 for this initial launch. Minnesota. Administering agency. Minnesota Department of Commerce. Application status. Here application approved. Submitted her application. State allocation, $148 million. Program description. Minnesota plans to make rebates available in spring 2025. Mississippi. Administering agency. Mississippi Development Authority. Application status. Received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application. State allocation, $105 million. Program description. No information at this time. Missouri. Administering agency. Missouri Department of Natural Resources. Application status. Submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $151 million. Program description. Missouri does not expect rebates to be available until mid-2025 or as late as 2026. Montana. Administering agency. Montana Department of Environmental Quality. Application status. Submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $71 million. Program description. Montana expects rebates to be available in 2024. Nebraska. Administering agency. Nebraska Department of Energy and Environment. Application status. Submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $91 million. Program description. No information is available at this time. Nevada. Administering agency. Nevada Governor's Office of Energy. Application status. Received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application. State allocation, $96 million. Program description. Rebates are expected to be available in early 2025. New Hampshire. Administering agency, New Hampshire Department of Energy. Application status. Here application approved. Submitted her application. State allocation, $70 million. Program description. New Hampshire expects to launch the HERE program in the spring-summer of 2025 and the HERE program in summer/early fall of 2025. The state also plans to allocate 60% of HERE funding and 100% of her funding to low-income households. New Hampshire also plans on increasing the maximum HERE rebate a household/unit can receive to $15,000 if achieving 20 to 34% energy savings, and $20,000 if achieving 35% energy savings or more. New Jersey. Administering agency, New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. Application status. Submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $183 million. Program description. New Jersey plans to make rebates stackable with incentives and programs offered by the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. New Mexico. Administering agency, New Mexico Energy, Minerals, and Natural Resources Department. Application status. Here rebates available. Her application approved. State allocation, $88 million. Program description. New Mexico has launched the state's HERE program and rebates are currently available for wall, ceiling/attic, floor, and foundation insulation for single-family households at or below 80% AMI. Multifamily renters and building owners can expect to access rebates by the end of the year. New York. Administering agency, NYSERDA. Application status. HERE rebates now available. Her application approved. State allocation, $318 million. Program description. The HERE program has been designed to expand the reach of the state's Empower Plus program. Eligible owners of 1-4 unit households below 80% AMI or who participate in a utility payment assistance program will automatically be enrolled to benefit from the state's HERE program when they apply to the Empower Plus program. Currently, rebates are available for air sealing, insulation and ventilation, electrical wiring upgrades, and heat pump water heaters. NYSERDA is currently developing and submitting the full HERE application to enable rebate offers to moderate-income residents, up to 150% AMI, and to owners of larger LMI multifamily buildings, including high-efficiency electric appliance rebates. North Carolina. Administering agency, North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. Application status. HERE and HERE applications approved. State allocation, $209 million. Program description. North Carolina expects rebates to be available in early 2025 and will leverage other state programs such as Weatherization Assistance Program and rebates provided by utilities. North Carolina also plans to follow a phased program approach with Phase 1 serving low-income and rural residents. Phase 2 will expand to include moderate-income and multifamily residents, and Phase 3 will incorporate any needed program adjustments to optimize market opportunities. Households can receive between $14,000 and $16,000 in HERE funding depending on income and qualified needs. North Dakota. Administering agency, North Dakota Energy Office. Application status. Submitted here in HERE application state allocation, $74 million. Program description. No information available at this time. Ohio. Administering agency, Ohio Department of Development. Application status. Submitted HERE and HERE applications. State allocation, $249 million. Program description. Ohio expects rebates to be available at the end of 2024 or early 2025. Oklahoma. Administering agency, Oklahoma Department of Commerce. Application status. Received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application state allocation, $129 million. Program description. Rebates likely won't be available until winter 2025, summer 2026. Oregon. Administering agency, Oregon Department of Energy. Application status. HERE and HERE applications approved. State allocation, $114 million. Program description. While Oregon has allocated the 10% federal minimum requirement of her program funding to low-income multifamily households, Oregon plans to allocate 60% of HERE program funding to low-income households and 20% of HERE funding to low-income multifamily households. The state's HERE application also increases maximum eligible projects costs for 80% AMI households to $8,000 if achieving at least 20% energy savings and $10,000 if achieving at least 35% energy savings. Rebates likely won't be available until late 2025 or early 2026. Pennsylvania. Administering agency, Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. Application status. Submitted here in HERE applications. State allocation, $259 million. Program description. Pennsylvania anticipates that rebates will be available in early 2025. Rhode Island. Administering agency, Rhode Island Office of Energy Resources. Application status. HERE rebates available. Submitted HERE application. State allocation, $64 million. Program description. Eligible measures under the HERE program will likely include electric panel/load service upgrades, wiring upgrades, cooking appliance upgrades, and heat pump closed dryer upgrades. OER plans to launch the state's HERE program in 2 phases. Phase 1 launching now for households below 80% AMI, and Phase 2 launching next year for households between 80% and 150% AMI. The state's HERE program will likely launch in October, and the Office of Energy Resources plans to create a clean heat RI pathway for low-income multifamily households focusing on heat pump installations. This pathway would require dwelling units to complete weatherization measures first. Rhode Island is also proposing increasing the maximum rebate per each low-income unit to $16,000. Asterisk. South Carolina. Administering agency, South Carolina Energy Office. Application status. Received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application state allocation, $137 million. Program description. The State Energy Office does not expect rebates to be available before the end of 2024. Tennessee. Administering agency, Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. Application status. Submitted here in HERE applications. State allocation, $167 million. Program description. Tennessee expects rebates to be available in Q2 2025 and has proposed increasing the HER rebate cap for households at or below 80% AMI to $16,000 per unit regardless of energy savings, following the modeled energy savings pathway. Tennessee has also proposed to contract with Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, a public power company, to implement the rebate programs. TVA will expand upon their existing program processes and rebate offerings and rely on their data sharing relationships with local utility providers and quality contractor network. TVA will cover its own program implementation costs, reallocating $8 million in her administrative costs back to program funding. Based on a funding need/priority analysis, the state has allocated county set-asides for the rebate programs and developed a public dashboard for residents to see what funding is available in their county. Here, rebates will only be available for heat pumps for heating/cooling and water heating, electric load service upgrades, insulation, air sealing, ventilation, and electric wiring. Asterisk. Texas. Administering agency, Texas State Energy Conservation Office. Application status, submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $690 million. Program description, Texas anticipates rebates program to be open in summer 2025. Utah. Administering agency, Utah Office of Energy Development. Application status, received early administrative funding. Preparing rebate application state allocation, $101 million. Program description, no information available at this time. Vermont. Administering agency, Vermont Department of Public Service. Application status, her application approved, submitted here application. State allocation, $59 million. Program description, Vermont's draft plan includes 3 proposals for the state's rebate programs. 1. Vermont proposes committing all of the state's HER funding and $10 million in HERE funding to the Vermont Weatherization Assistance Program, WAP, serving households at or below 80% AMI. 2. An additional $10 million from HERE would be invested into an affordable multifamily housing new construction program to offset the costs of energy-efficient electric appliances and heating for new construction projects where at least 50% of its tenants are at or below 80% AMI. 3. Vermont proposes allocating the remaining HERE funding, just over $9 million, to provide rebates for heat pumps to moderate-income households who are not eligible for WAP. Asterisk. Eligible measures for HER funding include weatherization measures, air sealing, ventilation, insulation, and heat pump installations. Vermont is prioritizing the use of HERE funding for replacing fossil fuel infrastructure and reducing energy bills, particularly for lower-income households. The state's Department of Public Service has identified heat pumps and heat pump water heaters as measures that will deliver the biggest savings to customers. Electric service upgrades will be eligible for HERE funds if the household is also installing cold climate heat pumps. Asterisk. Virginia. Administering agency, Virginia Department of Energy. Application status, submitted here in her applications. State allocation, $189 million. Program description, Virginia anticipates that rebates will be available by spring 2025. Washington. Administering agency, Washington State Department of Commerce. Application status, here in her applications approved. State allocation, $166 million. Program description, Department of Commerce expects rebates will be available in early 2025. Eligible HERE measures include electric wiring, electric panel upgrades, insulation, air sealing, ventilation, appliances, heat pumps, and other general weatherization measures. HERE eligible measures include HVAC heat pumps, induction stoves, and heat pump dryers. Low-income households/units can expect to receive a $15,000 home efficiency rebate if achieving between 20-34% energy savings, and a $20,000 home efficiency rebate if achieving at least 35% energy savings. West Virginia. Administering agency, West Virginia Office of Energy Application Status. Submitted HERE and HERE application state allocation. $88 million program description. West Virginia is considering increasing rebate caps for households at or below 80% AMI. The state is also designing rebate programs that can stack with West Virginia's WAP program and local utility rebates. Wisconsin. Administering agency, Wisconsin Office of Energy Innovation Application Status. HERE rebates now available. HERE application approved state allocation. $149 million program description. Wisconsin has increased the maximum HERE rebate amount for multifamily buildings where at least 50% of households are at or below 80% AMI to $5,000 per unit if achieving between 20-34% energy savings and $10,000 per unit if achieving 35% energy savings or more. Wyoming. Administering agency, Wyoming Energy Authority application status. Preparing rebate application state allocation. $34 million. Program description, Wyoming has released an RFP for a qualified contractor to develop applications for both rebate programs. Cat's corner strategy with Tiger and Leone. Saying the quiet part out loud. Roar. Hi, I am Tiger. Our human asked us to get up from our naps and start Cat's corner strategy with Tiger and Leone. She gave us a list of internet allies which we will post for her here.
Hi, I am Leone. It is better for your mental fitness to go to these websites than to go to bro sites for advice. Substack letters from an American Heather Cox Richardson. Substack your local epidemiologist. The Midas Touch. The Guardian. The New York Times.
1 Introduction. Rosette view. The United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only for home building and furniture building. For just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable, wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut down and burn tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom, the Eco-Design Wood Stove. An international convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosette view. Purple air. PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.